It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
My friends, what's going on, everybody? Ears Up Podcast, back in the studio, coming at you like fire. I got a show for you guys. I got a show for you that is burning a hole in my brain, or actually in my Google Drive, for some time now. And I finally figured out how to do it. And it's long and rambly, but I think it's full of fantastic information that only nerds like me would probably really appreciate. And maybe like you, Erik, I don't know. I think you have a certain affinity for engineering things and city planning. Am I right?
Oh, yes. I do have multiple books on city planning and project management. And I do love rambling, and I love nerdy things.
This is for you, man. This is the show for you.
Oh, we're finally here.
Yeah, we're finally here at the intersection of all of Erik's interests in one.
Finally, an episode of Ears Up I can listen to.
Yeah, I know. I'm tired of this unrelatable content. Damn it, give me something construction-y.
Come on, man.
This show, believe it or not, is about the wrap party of the movie called Snow White, the original 1930, well, technically 1938 movie. Snow White, first full-length feature film. And apparently the wrap party was, the stuff of legends, you guys. It was not just a normal, we did a white elephant at work, and I got a straw. I got a straw doll to put underneath my pillow. I got a worry doll. I got a batch of worry dolls, and season 4 of The Simpsons on DVD. Hi, Alice. Oh my God, go away. Are you gonna come say goodnight? Erik says hi. Are you gonna come say goodnight to me? Are you gonna hug me on camera? Are you? If you're not, then leave me alone. I'm right in the middle. You ruined my flow. What do you need?
She's clothed, right?
Okay, go away. I love you. She showed me your butt.
No.
Yeah, so it's not like that. It was a wild ass party, and so we're gonna talk about it today.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and then
I love this story.
Erik, you have something to talk about as well. So Erik is eating again.
Yes.
So we're gonna hear more about what Erik has been eating. I thought I had a story for you guys first, but it'll come to me. As it usually does. As it usually does. I have no idea what to say right now because I forgot. My kid's butt derailed my train of thought, and I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, no one likes to be mooned while they're doing a podcast.
It's true. Yeah, save it for afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Save it. Just save it. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of my kid, she was in the talent show at school this last week. Yeah. So this past couple of weeks has actually been really busy. It's like our first really busy time as a parent, like busy season. Because Taryn had a bunch of work to do. She had to go off and do some stuff. And Alice had a bunch of these recitals, and she has 2 dance classes she's in. She's doing this whole thing. But she did 2 performances on Thursday for the school, right?
Okay.
And then Friday night was the parents' rehearsal, or Thursday night, doesn't matter. And so I'm like, oh, cool, okay, we get to go and whatever. And I'm getting ready, and I go, hey, Taryn, you know what I just realized? Because this is what I just realized. We have to sit there and watch all of the other performances before and after our own child. And she goes, yeah. I go, God, this is painful. I don't want to go. And she's like, well, the other part is it's an hour and a half. I'm like, God, no. I don't want to sit.
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
Because all the other kids are not as talented as your kid.
No. Alice is not very. Hers was terrible. It was like one of the worst ones.
I'm sure it wasn't. Come on.
But
what did she do?
Well, I'll get
Mr.
there.
P asked if she did hacky sack.
Yes, absolutely. Hacky sack all day long, and that's it. No, so the first act opens up, and what they did is there's too many kids that try out, right? And the teacher's like, we have to, combine you guys. So like Alice was doing it with a girl, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do something with my sister instead. She goes, because my mom said I had to. I'm like, okay. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So my teacher, there's these other two girls that were going to sing Golden. So I was just going to dance. So I'm just now in their group. I'm like, okay, well, if you're cool with that, then that's fine. So it opens up, and this is a prime example of what happened about sticking people together. There's a kindergartner and like two, I don't know, fourth graders or whatever. And the fourth graders were singing. And, if it's one thing that children know how to do well is harmonize.
Oh, yes. Famously.
Yes, yeah. Carry a tune, hit a note, and sustain. And they did not do that. And then in the middle of the stage, in the back, kind of behind these ladies, there was a kindergarten girl just on her roller skates, just going in a circle.
Okay.
Around and around and around.
That was part of the talent. Okay.
That was the opener. And it went uphill from there. No,
that hooked everybody.
It was wild, dude. And I'm like, I don't know what to experience right now. And I feel like 20 years ago, I would have been like, I hate this. But I guess as a parent, you just look at it like every other child is just a work in progress. And you want to support that no matter if it stunk or not, And there were some
for sure.
pretty cool things, too, that happened. Like, after the maybe you parents know out there, like the SpongeBob movie that just came out. There's an Ice Spice song in it called Big Guy. And it goes, SpongeBob, Big Guy. And it's like this viral dance on TikTok, but all the kids know it. So this girl gets up there and does this viral TikTok, SpongeBob, Big Guy, pants okay, or whatever. Once she starts, all of the kids are sitting over here, right? All the kids that are going, they start screaming the song along with this girl on stage. And so they were doing the thing, and she was doing the thing, and it happened multiple times. Sort of thing. I was like, oh, this is really a nice community moment. It was nice.
It's the new like 6, 7, and
kinda, I guess. Yeah,
you get to watch it and go, okay, so. Okay, at least my kids aren't doing drugs.
That's yet. They just don't know where to get them. That's all. Yeah, I don't know. It was neat. It was cooler than I expected in a very different way. I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, Erik, why don't you tell us what you're eating again, man? Let's dig into the show. Enough of my cool life.
What am I eating again? Wow. Okay, so we're starting off with that. That's cool. Yeah. So what I'm eating again, I'm going to Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar.
There you go.
At Disney Springs.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite places in Walt Disney World. I've been there so many times. There was a time when it first opened up that I was there for I was in Orlando for a conference, and I went there every night for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be a diverse menu, I would imagine.
Kind of.
Okay, good. I think that's kind of rare, I would imagine. For some places, a lot of places you kind of go to, especially if you're, in a conference mindset, and you go like, this is the only place that has like a decent omelet, and then that's it. So that's just all you get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's not like big entrees. It's smaller stuff. It's appetizers. That's the main attraction there. But let's rewind to the beginning of this. The Hangar Bar opened in September of 2015.
Yeah, Tara and I were there. We were there like the first week it opened.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you beat me to it.
Brand new, baby. We were there. It was so new they didn't even have the little monkey head tiki mugs that you can get now.
Yeah.
But we got the drink. Because I'm like, I want a drink. And I want to say it was Aaron or someone went there, and I was like, bro, get me one of the mugs. And then it broke in his luggage.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm not destined to have one.
I guess not. Yeah. Well,
anyway,
this location is part of the expansion of Downtown Disney into Disney Springs. There was their whole changeover around that time, and it is now in what is called the landing area, and it's designed to resemble a 1930s airplane hangar.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties directly into the world of Indiana Jones with one of the characters that you see the least in any Indiana Jones movie.
I always thought that was cool, man. Or it's like, who can we get that nobody will know, but we can use as the foundation for serving alcohol?
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's either, Indy's dad or the Nazis. Either one probably wouldn't be great,
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is kind of like somebody who's like, oh yeah, my friend's very famous. I'm going to open up a bar with his name on it.
Just I'm thinking,
my name.
I'm thinking to
instead.
myself, if we had the Nazi Germany bar, and it's just a cloudy, smoky little thing, nobody would go to it. Or you can go like, if it was in the Temple of Doom era, then I guess you can go. I'll have the Shavai, please. I don't know. Sorry. Now I'm riffing on my.
Oh,
own dumb
here,
joke.
let's go rip out the heart of a guy.
Yeah.
And
well, see, that would be. Oh, well, hold on. We got a fire truck. We got a fire truck coming down our street.
Oh.
And a cop car. 2 cop cars.
Oh.
Damn. Lights going.
Okay. Real world
Crazy
stuff happening
Yeah,
here.
I know, man.
Wow.
We're talking about ripping hearts in this, who knows, man.
That's real too. It's fine.
That was real too, actually. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But they were able to put it back, and that's good. That's what I like about it. Practical effects, but no one got hurt.
Right. Not in the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, who is Jock Lindsey? Jock Lindsey is the bush pilot who helped Indiana Jones escape the jungle at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. In case you haven't seen that movie a billion times.
Yeah. In case you aren't an American citizen, because you're supposed to be watching that.
Yeah.
Daily.
Come on. It's required.
Yeah.
His pet snake, Reggie, appeared in the cockpit. It's a whole thing where that's where we find out that Indiana Jones doesn't like snakes.
That's right. Immediately, that's why the opening of that movie is so good. Because within 5 minutes, you know everything you need to know about the main character.
Yeah, it really is a very tight thing.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, Alfred Molina gets his head impaled on a spike.
Yeah, well, look, someday it happens. There's casualties on either side. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Otto Octavius. But yeah, these things happen. So the story behind the bar, they wanted to build this backstory, the Imagineers, when they were expanding into this area of Disney Springs, as they were kind of building out this whole area. So after years of adventures with Indiana Jones, Jock retired from flying cargo missions. Can you imagine?
No.
He retired.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he settled into the fictional town that would become Disney Springs.
Hey, good for him. He got in early,
Yes. Yeah, he converted his airplane hangar into a pilot's lounge and bar, and he brought all of his pictures and random crap that he had amassed during his adventures into the space.
Yes, that's right.
Right. So the building is filled with props that aren't really from the movies because we've only seen Jock a few times. But yeah, letters, mementos from Indy and other explorers.
Ooh.
Other explorers.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. I guess. I don't know. I always looked at Jock as like Batman's Alfred. Like, he doesn't really work for anybody else, It's like it's Jock and Indy. But then why didn't we see him again? So yeah, it's probably just I don't know, man. Because they had a more familial relationship than like I just hired you, at a weird,
But it does have that George Lucas kind of flair to it, where it's like in Star Wars, where they're like, oh yeah, the Clone Wars, they happened. At least in the original movies before we actually had to watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes,
oh yeah,
we
this
did.
is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
And we don't have to explain it. And you'll just go,
And that's
rich
what
backstory.
and I love that. And I love that because you're right.
Yeah.
The backstory doesn't have to be. It can be rich or not. It depends on you, which is why I hated this a Solo movie. I'm alone, so my last name is Solo. Shut the front door, brother.
That part blew. I mean, most of the movie was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was entertaining. No. I liked it.
Well, that's okay.
I liked it.
That's all right.
Okay. Well, so this kind of intersects with the SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, which is the fictional explorers club that connected kind of between parks, kind of a little bit, and they didn't really get into it too much, and there was supposed to be a show and that never happened and whatever. but yeah, like Jock Lindsey is kind of like adjacent to the rest of these folks, like Barnabas T. Bullion, Lord Henry Mystic, Harrison Hightower III, Jason Chandler, all of these other folks, Mary Oceaneer.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes. Right. Who's on the cruise ship.
I feel like these would be fantastic Disney themed drag names. Hi, I'm Mary Oceaneer. You know what I mean?
I'm in.
That'd be so good.
Oh gosh.
Anyway.
Well, the actor behind Jock Lindsey was Fred Sorensen. Just wanted to say a different name. He was a stunt man who learned how to fly the seaplane for this movie.
Oh geez, dude. Okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to shout out Fred Sorensen.
Absolutely.
But yeah, in this space, it's a small, fairly small bar that has a decent outdoor space. It's a fun bar. There are maps in there. There are artifacts from the Indiana Jones movies. There are all sorts of other things that are just kind of crazy crap on the walls.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's kind of fun. It's a nice place to sit down and get some food, have a drink. The current menu. The menu does change a decent amount over the years that I've been there. It really is like the food is designed for sharing. It's designed for it's appetizers.
Okay.
It's like late night stuff.
Yeah.
It's queso fundido dip. It's bao buns. It's sliders. It's meatballs. It's flatbread.
Man, I tell you, there's been nothing like, and I said this a couple years ago, that dumplings are the new pho, because there has been no food that has been on a rocket ship to the moon faster in the public consciousness than bao buns, especially at a Disney park. A Disney park loves to see a bao bun coming, like that is, or the other way around maybe. Bao buns love to see a Disney park coming. They're everywhere because they're easy, they're delicious, and, and you can charge premium for them because they're exotic, you know?
Oh yeah, it's the new flatbread.
It's the new flatbread. Well, the pho was the new flatbread, and then now these have replaced pho. Like there's dumpling places everywhere. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and dumplings are great. My favorite are the soup dumplings. Bao is good because it can take a lot of sauce. You can dump a lot of sauce in there. You know what I mean? After you bite into it. So yeah, it's good stuff, man.
So, like this current menu that I'm looking at right now, completely different from the last time I was there, which was just a year ago.
Nice.
Completely different.
Love it.
So it is nice to see that they keep things moving on that front. Yeah. They have non-alcoholic drinks.
I love that too. That's my jam.
Poisonless dart, soda water with mint, simple syrup.
That's such a good name. I love, dude. Too frequently, maybe some might say, I crap on a lot of the names that Disney gives their things. The Poisonless Dart is such a great cocktail name.
I love
such a great virgin cocktail name.
I'm going there in a few months. I'm going to Disney World in a few months. And I'm like, I want to have a poisonless dart.
Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that.
Who's nice.
I don't know, but there you go.
Well, hey, I'm looking at a menu here. We've got the Diving Bell, which is lemonade and watermelon.
Okay.
Which sounds okay.
Look, man, it sounds you got to do something. You know?
But they've got multiple. It's not just one non-alcoholic drink. They have multiple.
Good.
They've got 4. So then the alcoholic drinks, they've got a good list of cocktails. That's kind of one of their things. They're kind of a kind of a Trader Sam's.
Yeah, it's similar vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singapore slang. They've got a Florida Mule. They've got the Mayor's Reserve, bourbon, brandy, simple syrup, lemon juice. They've got a lot of stuff, and it's all themed after different things. Jock's Old Fashioned, Reggie's Revenge, Reggie meaning the snake. Air Pirates Mule. Yeah, they've got fun names. They've got good local beers, which is always kind of nice. They always have like something from the Orlando area.
Yeah, good
on draft or in bottles.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it. The few breweries that are left in the world, man.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, these days. But yeah, it's a fun place to go, and it used to be harder to get into. You used to have to wait a bunch. These days, I think you kind of just show up and you go in, and
love that.
I like it. It's a great place to get a little bit of food if you're going to continue walking around, or if it's the end of the night, you just want something to hang out with, a friend and have a little nosh before you head out and go back to bed.
Yeah.
It's a great location. It looks super fun. Part of it is on a boat. Part of the outdoor portion is on a boat.
Hell yeah.
And occasionally the engine sputters. So it's very immersive. It's very interesting. And it's right on the water at Disney Springs. So you can you can see the Epcot fireworks from there.
Nice.
In fact, I had a conversation with one of the Imagineers who was responsible for the Epcot fireworks once.
Nice.
At the Hangar bar while they were going on. It was
that's cool.
It was a cool night. Yeah.
Very meta. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can look at it at Saratoga Springs. They've got great lights at night, and it's just a calm place to be.
I love that.
In the evening, and good food, good drinks. Fantastic place. Love it.
Sounds
absolutely recommended.
All right, Eric. Good job, buddy. Taryn's still not gonna. I don't think Taryn's gonna make it here tonight, folks.
How many Julie Chens are on your shirt?
Oh, maybe not enough. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. It looks like 5.
Something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get into a little Snow White action.
Let's do it.
We'll take a break.
Oh, I can't wait.
Actually, what do I got? I got 9 pages.
Oh my! Fonts. Look at the chat while I was talking.
All right.
There's a lot of chat.
Here we go. All right. It's 1938. Snow White had been released the previous year-ish. I'll get to that. And it's a massive hit. Huge hit. So big, in fact, that by February of 1938, every showing was sold out at Radio City Music Hall in New York, with scalpers receiving up to $7.70 for reserved tickets.
$7.70?
Do you know what that would be today, Eric? Take a wild guess. It's gonna be a lot of this today too. So get your guesser guessing.
$25?
Spin your guesser up. $130.
What?
Yeah. Imagine scalping. Imagine paying $130 for scalped tickets to see Snow White at the Radio City Music Hall.
Oh man.
But it's opening, right? Like it's like a nationwide opening kind of a thing. So it's hard to remember that the world had not seen anything like Snow White before. Not just the length, but the imagery, the design, the special effects were huge breakthroughs in animation. But to make such a huge hit, Walt needed two things: buy-in from his staff to work the long hours that were necessary to produce such a product, and money. Walt had been concerned that shorts were not the best way forward, and only moving to full-length feature animations could the studio start to really make some cash. After the successful release of the Silly Symphony short Three Little Pigs in May 1933, which is probably everybody's favorite Silly Symphony, one of them at least. It's
I
great.
prefer the sequel to Three Little Pigs.
What, Four Little Pigs?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Just a joke, I'm sorry.
Walt gained more confidence in his idea of a feature-length cartoon and began introducing the idea to his staff through a, quote, slow infiltration, which basically is just sharing the concept of a feature-length cartoon with everybody he could find individually during casual conversations. Just Walt being subversive and be like, hey, so what do you think about what if we had one cartoon, but it was an hour and a half? What do you think about that?
Oh, my goodness.
Betty and ink and paint, what do you think? The project was initially developed by a small unit of writers that Disney personally supervised before it was introduced to the studio staff at large on October 30th, 1934. When the basic story outline was completed. As some animators later recalled, Walt Disney assembled them on the soundstage in the evening and acted out the entire story of Snow White for 3 hours, concluding with the announcement of that being their very first feature film.
We're going to do this. This whole crazy thing that I just did up here, we're gonna make it.
Try it. Yeah. Also, the day before Halloween, okay? The day before Halloween, you're keeping me at night for 3 hours.
3 hours.
To watch the boss, hoot and holler on stage or whatever. Are you kidding me? Get me off this
How
crazy
drunk was
thing,
Walt?
I don't know, man. So at the time, once the rumors and started circulating that Walt was trying to do this full-length feature film, much of Hollywood was thinking that this idea would tank the Disney company. Not just it would be a flop, but that's the end of the Disney company. With W.C. Fields infamously poo-pooing it because he thought you could only get like 6 or 7 minutes of gags into a cartoon before the audience would get bored. He was looking at it like a traditional cartoon where it's just like, boom, gag, 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 credits. He didn't understand you could like take your time.
Look at their arms. They're wobbly.
Yeah. Now hang on for 40 minutes watching the wavy
Look
things,
at their
man.
wavy arms. Hey, that cow has
pendulous udders.
Yes.
Better call the MPAA. Walt was struggling to get funding and eventually had to mortgage his house to help finance the film's production. Because also, keep in mind, the studio wasn't doing all that great, really. You know what I mean? We forget that Walt almost went bankrupt like 7 times in his career. So this was like kind of getting close to one of those times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So he had to mortgage his house to help everything, plod along. And the production ran to a total cost of just shy of $1.5 million. This is the number that I got. I don't know. It seems very exact, and I don't know if it's real, but it's $1,488,422.74.
Oh, well, we're down to the
We're down
penny.
to the penny, man. Yeah.
Wow, which doesn't exist anymore.
So in 2025 dollars, Eric, what do you think that would be? What do you think 1.4 million would be now today?
Oh, gosh. 15?
34.
$34 million.
Yeah. Originally, he had pegged the budget at $250K. I could just see Walt going, yeah, we could do it for $250. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll take care of it.
1.4 later, and a
Goes
mortgage.
to Bank of America, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can handle that."
Funny you mentioned that. Midway through the production, Disney needed a $250,000 loan to finish the film. So to secure that money, Walt turned to a man who had become his trusted confidant in business. And it's here that I want to mention the impetus for this episode. To be completely upfront about it, I got the idea for this show from my other series on Disney conspiracy theories. There wasn't much room for this to be one of those shows, so I padded it out and brought it here. So if this next bit of info feels kind of gross, that's why. It comes from a conspiratorial thing.
Listen to the pyramid, the eye, and the ear, everybody.
Walt's confidant was a Jewish banker, pause for laughter, called Joe Rosenberg. He advised Walt on certain financial aspects of the company and would supposedly attend every single board meeting despite him not being on the board at all. Rosenberg worked for Bank of America at the time, and when the time came to grab that last bit of funding, Walt ran a rough cut of the movie together for him. After it was over, Rosenberg turned to Walt and said, "Walt, that thing is going to make a hat full of money," and approved the loan.
A full hat?
Absolutely. 10-gallon?
Wow.
I don't know, man. I like the idea of this banker, just 'cause that's going to make a hat full of money. Like, whoa, yay, calm down, man. That language is wild. So Walt got his funding, and he worked his team into the ground for 2 very long years. And in doing so, had to promise them bonuses for all the overtime that they were working, paid after the movie was released and if it was a hit. So it sounds like maybe they were working unpaid overtime. I can't really tell from the accounts I read. Another thing I was unclear on is if there were like extra bonuses promised on top of overtime pay. I don't know about that.
From what I've read around the Disney strike, which is something that I'm still working on, the bonuses with the shorts in particular, and this is not a short, this is a different experience.
Yeah.
But the bonuses were based on how much work you did and how much you contributed to the particular project. So it sounds like maybe Walt didn't deliver on some promises.
Well, yeah, that's true. But like, I wonder, look, it's hard, right? Because there's nobody you can ask. Right, because they're all not around anymore.
Yeah.
But then the interviews that they gave were much later on in life. So who knows if they go, oh yeah, he promised us bonuses, but does that mean that you're actually getting paid for your work now or not? Or I don't know. I feel like maybe there was a little bit of both going on too, because you're right. The animators were getting bonuses in general, but it sounds like they were getting not paid for working overtime. And maybe they thought they were going to combine those two things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that was the expectation, and I think a lot of that led to the strike, which will be a later episode, maybe the next episode. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, like when you've been given bonuses multiple times, why wouldn't you expect the next one to go along with that?
Just watch Christmas Vacation to learn about a real world, that documentary, the real life implications of removing bonuses. But anyway, finally, on December 21st, 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered at the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles, but didn't see general release until February of 1938, which is why you might often see box office numbers from that year or whatever. The movie, of course, was a massive hit, as we all know, and eventually, after the great success, the folks who worked on the film remembered those juicy bonuses that Walt was going to hand out. Numbers were thrown around, putting the potential amount at upwards of Walt splitting 20% of the profit of the movie between all 800 employees. In 1938, Snow White made about $8 million at the box office worldwide on a budget of $1.5 million, which means each employee would stand to receive $1,625 at the 20% mark, right? Which would be equal in spending power to $36,000 today.
Oh, 36. Wow.
Now, you got to remember, this was a time in America, okay, where 3 dozen eggs cost 89 cents in a big city like Pittsburgh, for example. Potatoes were a nickel a pound. You could literally eat lunch for 20 cents. Imagine getting full at lunch and getting change back from a quarter. Like, I have family that still is living that got to experience things like this. It's just alien times. Like, the amount of inflation and corporate greed is just dominating the last 80 years or whatever it is.
It's Depression era, so everybody who happened to be associated with this was suddenly a billionaire.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh.
But rather than pay the folks the money that he supposedly promised, Walt moved ahead with a different idea. That of a company-wide getaway. A nice timeout away from the studio to, recharge the batteries and unwind a bit. He invited everyone who worked for him and their spouses, no kids, to a weekend at the Norconian Hotel on Lake Norco, near-ish Palm Springs area. So high desert, right? Basically, draw a line like east, a straight line east from Hollywood, and it's like almost, being right in the desert or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know California well enough, but
That's
okay.
all right. The Norconian has a pretty interesting history to it, and I was very surprised when I started looking into it to pad this baby out. And then I wrote LMAO. The Lake Norconian Club is located in Norco, California, opened in 1929. Built in a rural community whose main businesses at the time were poultry, rabbits, and agriculture. So, classic California stuff, It was later known as the Norconian, sometimes billed as the Norconian World's Resort Supreme. That was the name. The Norconian World's Resort Supreme. And Clark's Hot Springs, which doesn't have the same ring to it as World's Resort Supreme, but
Supreme.
yeah. In 1920, after years of land speculation in the San Diego Julian area of California, Rex Brainerd Clark, through his North Corona Land Company, purchased 15 square miles of land north of the city of Corona. 15 square miles. San Francisco is 7 square miles. 15 square miles. That's a massive amount of land, dude. The land was a failed agricultural community known as Orchard Heights. But Clark renamed this hilly area Norco, based on its position, you'll never guess, north of Corona. And in California, like, you see Norco all the time. You hear it talked about, especially if you're driving anywhere like in the Inland Empire or kind of, a riverside area, whatever. I never knew that Norco meant north of Corona, which just is stupid. It's like it's not
like North California. It's north of Corona.
North of Corona. Yeah, it's like those people like, my name's Bud Dickerson, and I have a company in the 80s. I'm calling it Budco. I don't know, man. It's so stupid.
Oh my
dude.
Goodness. I don't know California that well, but that's interesting that you don't even.
No, that part of California, I don't know at all.
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
not. No.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know that. You forget how big California is. Like, people forget. Like, it's 12 hours top to bottom driving. It's massive,
so huge,
dude. Yeah, it's actually probably more than that. It's 8 hours from here to San Diego. Yeah, it's probably 13, 14 hours top to bottom. Anyway, Brian's in the chat. He says he lived in Norco. Hell yeah, dude. Well, now you know. And if you didn't know, now you know. I imagine you knew, though. In May 13th, 1923, Norco held its grand opening as an official like city or whatever. In 1925, village, I don't know what, incorporation. In 1925, while drilling a water well, someone struck a deposit of hot mineral water, giving rise to the idea of a health spa that would ultimately become the Norconian. Construction of the actual resort began in 1926 and consisted of a golf course, airfield, hiking trails, the Lake Norconian Pavilion, chauffeurs' quarters, garage, powerhouse, laundry, and a clubhouse, which consisted of a first-class hotel, 2 indoor bath complexes, ornate ballroom, dining room, and lounge, and the very first outdoor amateur athletic union qualifying swimming and diving pools in Southern California. There you go.
That's the first?
Not the first
the
outdoor
first pools?
No, not the first pools. The first pools that were outdoors that would qualify swimmers to race in the amateur athletic union swim races.
That's a lot of explanation.
I know. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I thought it was very funny. I don't know why.
I like it.
In a random act of fate, the clubhouse architect, so it's like the main thing, right? The clubhouse architect was Dwight Gibbs, who was also responsible for
the Dwight Gibbs?
The Dwight Gibbs, who was also responsible for designing the Carthay Circle Theater.
Oh.
Very funny, right? Which is where Snow White would have its LA debut, and the very building the Carthay Circle in DCA is modeled after.
Right.
Kind of fun. I don't know. Kind of fun.
Huh.
You know, LA was a small area back then, I guess. The Lake Norconian Club opened officially on February 2nd, 1929, 3 years after construction began. It was renamed the Norconian. I can't say it, man. The Norconian on January 20th, 1931, so travelers would not be confused and think the resort was a private club. So it went from the Lake Norconian Club to just the Norconian.
Oh.
A nice resort like this, located inland of Hollywood, obviously attracted big-name stars of the day. Buster Keaton or Babe Ruth would frequently be found on the golf course there. Me being me, I wanted to know how far away Norco was from Hollywood. Because, again, I've only heard about it. You know what I mean? It's like a unicorn. I don't know if it exists. Google says an hour and 20 minutes on a good day. But then I remembered that that's modern speeds with modern freeway systems. Of course, the first real freeway in LA and one of the very first in the country, the Arroyo Seco Parkway, which is now the 110 freeway, didn't open until 1940, which meant driving on back roads to get wherever it is you were going. So like city driving from Hollywood through LA until you hit the hills, then windy roads to like Pasadena or whatever, then back to city driving and whatever. And this is all at a time when most cars were only capable of going 20 to 45 miles per hour, depending on how much money you had and how new of a car you could get. And the idea of like a proper speed limit wasn't really a thing, especially on like highways and like, you know, back roads or whatever. So as long as you didn't drive crazy, you were good, you know? And in fact, when the first leg of the Arroyo Seco was opened, there was no posted speed limit. And police were told to don't worry about speeders. Just make sure people weren't, you know, driving in an unsafe manner, because at the time,
flying off the edge.
Yeah. Well, at the time, the main concern was that the older cars, which sounds kind of crazy to me to think about, like in 1940s. Oh, the older cars, like the Model Ts or whatever.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They wouldn't be able to keep up with the quote modern cars. So like back then, you driving 30 miles an hour on the Arroyo Seco. Are you too slow for traffic? Your car just can't keep up? Or you're driving 25 and like you get a speedster going 35 going, hey, get out of the road.
This Nash is on my ass. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
So, you know, let's say you're driving an average of 30 miles. It might take you like 2 hours to cover the 60 miles to the Norco Hills. And then I wrote, I really do get distracted easily. Anyway, I needed to figure it out. I'm sorry, I don't know. And then I went down a whole rabbit hole. And we're gonna
that's so interesting.
We're gonna take a break here real fast. I went down a whole rabbit hole of the freeway systems in general. And the SoCal Automotive Association put together this big document figuring out the LA freeway systems and like planning them out and justifying them. And I posted this in the Discord. I find it ultimately fascinating. But they somehow, I didn't read it. I skimmed it because what am I, 48? What am I going to do? Read? And they like tracked where cars came from in LA County and where they went to. And a lot of people were coming from like the bottom of LA County out to like Riverside or whatever. And the Automotive Association's argument was like, well, if we could get these people out of town onto a dedicated freeway system to take them directly to where they want to go, it'll free up traffic downtown. And then I heard like, oh, you always hear, maybe you don't hear, I don't know. But in California, we always hear, yeah, LA used to have public transportation, a decent system, and they were doing the trolley, right? You watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Oh, the red car trolley. Then the freeway people bought it and destroyed it. Sort of, but not really. I guess this document made a point, and maybe it's Disney related. Why not? Made a point of like, and there were pictures of like traffic jams, congestion in LA, and there's a trolley right there, and they're like mixed use traffic exacerbates the traffic problem, the flow of traffic. It inhibits it. And the tracks weren't really easy to maintain, and the cars would kind of chew them up. And so, I don't know, it's all part of it, all part of the lore of why LA sucks for public transport. I don't know. It's super interesting. So if you like weird stuff like that, so that was 1937. And by 1940, the Arroyo Seco, first one in LA, or first one in California. No, first one in California.
No, I'd love to learn more
cool
about stuff like that because I mean I come from Chicago where we've got a lot of public transit, and it's like like Chicago trains and the L and everything like subways are part of it, just as much as like New York. Then I moved to Denver where it's like. When I first moved here, they're like, well, within the next 10 years, we'll have a train station that will take you to the airport. Like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, dude, yeah, it's bad. It's bad out here. California in general just has terrible public transport. If you're interested, you can Google 1937 traffic survey, Los Angeles metropolitan area.
Okay,
you'll find it.
Interesting.
Or it's in the Discord in the off-topic section. Anyways, that was my little rabbit hole I went down. I love it. The Norconian was a happening place. In 1938, actress Lana Andre set a new record for speed in women's golf, shooting 156 holes in 11 hours and 56 minutes.
Speed in golf? That's not a record.
I know. Here's another weird one.
Okay.
Norma Shearer. Now, she was the very first 5-time Academy Award nominee for acting. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and who critic Mick LaSalle called a feminist pioneer, or, quote, the exemplar of sophisticated modern womanhood, and the first American film actress to make it chic and acceptable to be single and not a virgin on screen. She shot 2 films at the resort and could be seen riding the trails on horseback on many occasions.
But how fast did she golf?
Oh, that was Lana and Andre. That's right. I get it. You made a joke. It was a callback. No, it's fine. Famous cowboy Will Rogers. Also, ask your parents if you don't know who he is. He also shot several films in the vicinity, regularly used the Norconian airfield. A number of films were shot at the resort. The site became so popular that Fox Studios actually built complete Norconian sets within their sound stages. So It was like, that was the place to be in Hollywood. It was the place to shoot films.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. So do me a favor. Let's take a break, everybody. We're going to come right back, and we're going to learn more about this Snow White rap party and all that kind of, maybe some freeway talk. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time. So hang on, everyone. It's Ears Up. We'll be right back.
I've got my Coke Zero, so
Hell yeah,
It's
dude.
not a Dr. Pepper Zero. They're in the fridge. They're cooling right now.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Back to Ears Up, where the opinions never stop. Ever.
All right, thanks for hanging on, everybody. All right, back to the Norconian. The hotel began to struggle during the Great Depression, and by 1933, the resort was closed. Norco, the city, was in the midst of a 7-year drought, and the agricultural success of the 1920s was all but a memory. In 1935, the resort suddenly reopened, likely due to a cash infusion from the owner Rex Clark's former wife's trust fund. There's a lot of apostrophe S's there. I apologize, but yeah.
Rex Clark's former wife. Okay.
Yeah, so he got divorced and apparently got access to her trust fund and pumped all that money back into Norconian. He's like, hey, I want these fun times. Give me Babe Ruth back in here, brother. You know what I mean? Where's Lonnie Anderson or whatever her name was?
Probably not Lonnie Anderson.
Probably not, but you know what? What if it was? That'd be sick, dude.
Oh, wow.
So that's where we land for this story. An already struggling resort way up in the hills of SoCal, celebrating the success of Snow White, soon to house dozens upon dozens of young, single, repressed, budding alcoholics. What could go wrong? Walt had the right idea. It's good to reward your people for a job well done. And perhaps it was because he had struggled for so many years in his personal life that maybe he wanted to splash out for not only his people, but his family and himself as well. So the company rented the Norconian out for an for an event called Walt's Field Day to be held June 4th through the 5th, 1938. The studio was, of course, paying for everything. Now, I say everything, and then what I didn't add in is, again, mixed signals. You know, it's like I'm in high school again. Where I don't know. So some accounts I've read, they paid for everything. Some accounts is just entertainment and food, but not rooms. Everyone was up for their.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I'm just picking one and going
here
with it.
for free. You can stay here.
Yeah. So entertainment, definitely. Food, definitely. Booze was not included on the tab.
Of course
So the hotel was charging for mixed drinks. How much? How much mixed drinks? What do you think?
Mixed drinks.
Like Tom Collins or whatever.
In the 30s.
Yeah.
$12.
No, be serious. Come on.
58 cents. I don't know.
A quarter.
A quarter?
Yes. Beer was 15 cents, which is very clearly hotel bar prices, right? I mean, like if lunch could cost you 20 cents at a diner, you're going to pay a little bit more for booze at a resort hotel. You know, that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, 15 cents then. Should I ask you or should I just tell you how much it is today?
Just tell me. I have no idea.
It's $3.30 today.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine paying $3 for a beer. I swear to God, I'm not trying to turn anyone into a democratic socialist, but like this is less than 100 years ago, folks.
Oh, yes, well less than 100 years ago.
Come on, dude. This is crazy talk. This is crazy. Why things cost so much, but I guess here we are. At that time, the animators, who were all men, worked separate from the ink and paint department, who were women. Now, Walt had a long-standing... and this all does play a part into what happened. Walt had a long-standing policy for the animators that you, quote, don't dip your pen in the company inkwell.
Ugh.
Yeah, kind of creepy, but also doesn't really...
Despite himself.
Well, yeah, that's... Look, man, ink for me, not for thee, right? It doesn't really make sense on its face as an analogy because you're at work and you're doing that very thing. Like the company owns the inkwell that you're dipping your pen into. I don't know, just whatever. There was also that typical late 30s dress code, right? Where men wore jackets and ties. And when you got to your desk, you could take your jacket off. So, I guess it was a liberal work environment. Women wore skirts or dresses and were not allowed to wear pants at all. Walt was also kind of a bit of a prude around the studios. Rumors were if you told a dirty joke within earshot of Uncle Walter, you might actually get fired for it, depending on what you said. And I think some of his dress code here maybe was a reflection of those kind of modest values rather than like a overt suppression of the female form or something.
Yeah, you should be fired for telling a crude joke.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I wonder what would constitute a crude joke in the 30s,
What,
you know?
what did somebody get fired for? I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. His tolerance for filth seemed fairly low. Apparently, I don't know. This is a quote from Ward Kimball. He says, Walt took over the Norconian. The Norconian is what it is. The first floor hosted the unmarried guys. The second floor, the unmarried girls. And the third floor, the married employees. End quote. So Walt knew. Come on. Walt knew exactly what was going to happen. And I think so did everyone else. You know, if you have segmented by who's married and not married and by sex, bro,
Keep
come
them
on.
apart.
Everyone's going to have sunstroke, whatever. Before the event started, right? Before the event, I don't even know. I don't know when it came out, but before the event, whatever, a memo went out to the staff from the company detailing the events of the party, the check-in times, who's coming, the dress code, what's going to be billed, what's not going to be billed, how long you could stay. It's that kind of like normal stuff, right?
Right.
Shortly thereafter, a prank memo was typed up and sent around by someone on staff, not only poking fun at the strict dress code of the studios, but foreshadowing events to come. In part, it read, quote, married couples within the studio. We're sorry to say, you should consider each other as their guest for the day. In other words, serves you right. So that was part of the original memo where they're like, you can invite a +1, but married couples consider each other your guest.
Oh, no.
And so then these people are like, yeah, it serves you right. In other words, and then here's another line, quote, all fillies should come in slacks or other very informal attire.
Oh.
Of course, if you want to be glamorous in a little satin or velvet gimpy, which I forgot to look up what that is, for your favorite animator, that's your privilege, but you won't have much fun. And anyhow, glamour is going out of style.
Nobody loves glam anymore.
No, they don't want you glammed up because that's what kind of, I think what it is like at work, where it's like, we don't want that. You come in slacks.
Oh, no.
You come in your bikini. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Talk about inappropriate work environment.
Oh, God.
When was the advent of HR? Because I feel like it was before this.
Yeah. But this dude has enough power to say, make sure they're not dressing in anything inappropriate.
Yeah, and this guy's like,
the thing.
Only wear pants around me.
Also, the type of pants you need to wear are these, and here's the type of mustache you need to have.
There you go. The event was organized by a team at Disney, of course, led by Hal Edelquist, assistant director of Snow White and future producer of the Mickey Mouse Club TV show. And sounded kind of tame, to be honest. Fun, right? But more like a day camp. There was swimming, horseshoes, baseball, volleyball, touch football, ping pong, and something called aquaplaning. Do you know what that is?
What? No.
It's not anything that happens at a black site somewhere in Oklahoma. I had to look it up. I had to. It's basically
you had to. Yes,
I really did. Trust me. I tried
not
to.
I agree. I'm thankful you did.
Yeah, it's basically the precursor to kneeboarding, and it's developed from watching Hawaiian surfers navigate the waves, where they're kneeling on a small surfboard, I guess. Whatever. So aquaplaning is you're being drugged behind a speedboat, right? But kneeboards, as we know them.
It's boogie boarding.
It's boogie boarding, yeah. But those boards, as we know them, didn't get going until the 50s. Like the sport of like knee boarding on a proper thing, not until the 50s. So what you had here was a literal, like it started out a literal wooden board. Like I want to say like half sheet of plywood size. Like it's like it's a wooden board. and you knelt or stood on it like skis, and you were towed behind a boat. It was wild shit. Look up photos of it. Look up aquaplaning, because it started like early 1900s, and by this time it was kind of everywhere. Like a lot of people were doing it, and they actually eventually had like
literally
formed
plywood.
Well, it was like, did they have plywood back then? It's a dumb question.
I don't know.
Yeah. But like eventually on some of the photos you could see like they had like formed, I don't know, channels or whatever to like help the water break the waves or help the board break the waves a little bit. Yeah. But I saw plenty of photos of that not being the case. And it's literally just a rope knotted at one end, ran through the other side of the board and held onto like a handle. And it's just like you like take a section of fence and put it in the water and sit on it. Yeah. And you were towed behind a boat. It's backwoods crap, dude, but it looks really fun. Aquaplaning was so popular back then that in 1935, a 44-mile aquaplane race held between Santa Catalina Island and Hermosa Beach occurred, with racers from all over the world attending. The race was so grueling that only a third of the contestants even finished. Holding onto a rope while kneeling on a board going 50 miles an hour for 40 miles tends to exhaust one. And I read an account of some guy who was in like second place, right? He was like, he wasn't going to win, but he was still second place. It's pretty good. He was like 100 yards away from the finish line, and he literally just collapsed. He couldn't hold on anymore because there's that drag of that board. Just holding on, he couldn't do it. He could not make it. Just exhausted.
I've done like water ski before, and it's hard.
Yeah, I could never get up on him. I could never do it.
I'm not good at it, but like growing up in the Midwest, there are lakes. We've got about, but like seriously, that's hard to do.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
my dad is like an awesome pro.
Nice, man.
Oh, he's like he's done barefoot.
There you go.
Water skiing.
Well, ask him about aquaplaning.
Yeah,
Look it up.
40 miles. 40 miles?
Yeah.
No.
Well, technically 44. Yeah. Look up pictures of aquaplaning, please. Just do it.
Okay.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love I need to look into Catalina more, because it's such a weird island and there's so much history around it.
Yeah.
Like
me too.
Oh.
All right. Well, here's where people that Erik talks about comes in. As famous animator and troublemaker Art Babbitt remembers.
Oh,
quote,
good old Art.
Yeah. Quote,
oh, that socialist. That damned socialist.
That's right. He says, quote, handsome cups inscribed Walt's Field Day were awarded to the winners of these various events, except for boozing. And there were just too many competitors in that last event to declare a winner. End quote. So this was a Disney event. Of course, there were trophies. That's what handsome cups. They're just like a cup, like a little cup, a little tiny trophy. They look to be maybe about, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches tall. Like they weren't super massive.
They couldn't hold that much gin.
No. There was even a program that was printed up for the event. I mean, it was, they splashed out a little bit. And the cover art is kind of a little Mickey Mouse, has a little Mickey Mouse history to it. Hang on a second. The cover art reveals a Mickey Mouse with pupils in his eyes, said to be the very first time he was ever drawn that way. And
weird.
Here's a quote from Ward Kimball. Quote, we decided to have a printed program. I was asked to draw Mickey on the cover, teeing off a golf ball. In order to have Mickey's head addressing the ball and at the same time smiling at the audience, I said, what the hell? I'll use our regular eyes that we were using on everything else. The dwarfs, Snow White, Goofy, Pluto, and put black pupils in them. This really caused a riot in the comic strip department. The next week, Al Teleferro and Floyd Gottfredson came running in and said, "Is this the way you guys are drawing Mickey now?" We kind of played it cool and smiled and said, "Maybe." Fred Moore agreed that it gave Mickey more.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know, dude. Just panicked, like, maybe. Just, tee-hee-hee.
I don't know.
Fred Moore agreed that it gave Mickey more personality. Mickey didn't have to roll his little black ovals out to the edge of the big eye boundary to get expressions. Since animator talk. Since Fred had just convinced Walt to accept Mickey cheeks that bulge with the dialogue movements, Walt also bought the new eyes.
That's when this happened?
That's when this happened. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
From Ward Kimball.
Right.
Oh,
wow.
UFO extraordinaire expert.
Right. Man. Ward Kimball is like, just do it that way.
He's like, I'll just put the eyes that we're already doing. It makes sense. I'm not going to tell anybody. We'll put it on this program that's going to go out to everybody. And then like, whoa, this looks great. And so Walt's like, yeah, okay, great, perfect. That's the way it is. So
good thing Walt was there to approve it.
I know, right? So at the Norconian, registration opened at 8:00 in the morning on the 4th or whatever, which is a Saturday. And you had all the aforementioned events. You had swimming events at 11 a.m., volleyball at 1, and, like that, until the 6 p.m. cocktail hour, which preceded dinner at 7. The events were mainly for people who wanted to compete, like as teams or in singles or whatever. You could, of course, go off and do your own thing, and apparently many people did. If you want to swim all day, you can. You don't have to play ping pong. Mm-hmm. The drinks were flowing, of course, because it's the 30s. It's a party, and most folks are probably in their mid-20s enjoying a free day at a really nice resort. And here's where things went a bit pear-shaped. So imagine you're locked up for 2 years, busting your butt to get this movie made, stressed to no end, and you show up to a lakeside resort to find a ton of your young coworkers in bikinis, man thongs, or whatever the dudes wore. And then you also knew right away what floor all the single women or men were on. Please, dude, you'd have to soak me with a fire hose to get me out of the elevator in between the floors. There's no way. There's no stopping people. Disney artist Bill Justice remembers, quote, "For 2 years, all of us had been under terrible pressure, working long hours day and night to finish Snow White. When I came on at the end of production, I still felt that stress. When we arrived at the Norconian Hotel, there were pools to swim in, tennis courts, a golf course, live music, and plenty of food and alcohol, and something just snapped."
Oh.
By all accounts, the day was fairly normal, just the regular goofs goofing off. There are some photos showing a few of the guys being dorks on the diving board and whatnot. Classic 30s stuff. Make a goofy face, Cocktail hour arrived, and then dinner at 7 to be followed by dancing, a dance contest, and awards ceremony. And that was that. The whole thing was meant to end at midnight. Walt and Lillian didn't even show up until the dinner hour because Walt was off getting his honorary master's degree from USC at the time. And there are reports of him being spotted standing at the top of the staircase, kind of looking down at the dining room when he got there, and being absolutely horrified at how far advanced his people were in their party state. Apparently they were already raucous, having a good time.
Wow.
Which may be true. I don't know. I've seen some home video. Okay, there's only one bit of footage from this event that was shot by Art Babbitt, because he was like a famous he was known for just shooting a bunch of home movies. You know what I mean?
Oh, Art. Oh, I can't wait to talk more about Art.
So, everybody seems to be just having a normal time. Like it didn't seem too wild, but you can't really tell out of context. So there's footage of Walt at this party, and he seems to be holding court, like at a table, laughing and smoking, and also smoking. So he couldn't have been that beat up about it, like he's laughing, he's telling a joke. You can't hear, obviously, and everyone's laughing.
Right.
Everyone just seems like they're having a great time, And actually, it's kind of a nice thought to reflect on, where Walt comes in, and goes, "What the living hell is going on?" And then it's almost like if it was an '80s party, it would be like the record screech, and he'd go, "What are you doing without me?" And then the party would go, "Hey!" And the music would come back, gone, and he'd conga down and light a ciggy and let's go, baby.
Is it more like Dean showing up at some college party in a movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually, part of that footage I was talking about from Art was Walt being set up by Art, like a little gag, who Art apparently bribed a security guard to go over to Walt's table and say, look, there have been noise complaints. You guys got to keep it down or we're going to kick you out. And apparently Walt turns to the cop and goes, "I will have your badge." Kind of giving him smack. But the whole thing kind of seems, cordial. Walt is laughing and smiling the whole time. So he knew it was a gag. He knew it was a put on. Because what are you going to do? Tell Walt Disney to shut up at a resort that nobody else is at?
Keep it down, Walt Disney.
It's only Disney employees. It's not like you're sharing a floor at the Sheraton, right? So I don't know. It's pretty funny. But I still bet Walt's fight or flight was kind of triggered for a second, like just a little bit of you just told me what to do. I don't know. Since the Snow White movie was doing so well in theaters, many animators and artists were hoping that when Walt addressed the group with his evening speech, and I don't really know when it was, either it was at dinner or it was during the award ceremony or whatever, he would finally bring up the bonuses that they were all promised. Ooh. Walt did no such thing, and as the night wore on, realization that they probably just got stiffed by the boss had started to set in. After dinner, the dance contest and the awards segment of the night had concluded. Things really went off the rails. After the award ceremony and the realization there were no bonuses coming, the party moved outside and ramped up a notch, actually several notches. These people had been drinking all day, Erik. They were in the sun. And now here it is, past midnight, with a few of the married guys having gone home already. There's a couple of interviews with people that are like, yeah, I left. I'm married. What am I going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why would I stay here?
Yeah, there's nothing for me. Literally, there's nothing for me here. The animators and the ink and paint girls hit the ground running. One of the animators picked up a girl from the ink and paint department and threw her into the pool fully clothed, and apparently it jumped off after that. Swimsuits, this is, anecdote. Swimsuits were flying out of hotel windows. Several skinny dipping parties took place, and more than one person was surprised at who they woke up next to in the morning.
Such a prudish time.
One gal
to have this kind of bacchanalia going on.
One gal, I didn't get her name. She went into the stables at the resort. Now keep in mind, this is all after midnight. Okay, the party was over. The event was supposed to end, and they said no, we're going outside. And it reminded me a lot of like some beer events that I've been to. Not this level, but everything's done. Let's go just hang out in the courtyard and just drink and party or whatever.
Right. That's casual. This is
one time we had a keytar and we were singing songs, but that's a different story. But this is a stable. This lady went to the stable and she tried to ride one of the donkeys, but she fell off. And she's like, yeah, someone has a picture of me with my feet up in the air and falling off this donkey. Another dude grabbed a horse and rode it straight into the swimming pool.
Oh, no.
Another guy took yet another horse, ran it up the stairs of the hotel to the second floor, and flew down the hallway while his friends hoot and hollered at him. He rode the horse. He rode the horse through the hallway of the hotel, like just not giving a shit at all about any consequences, man.
I have not heard any of this stuff. Like, what?
So good, dude. One of the more repeated stories has a couple of different versions, but the gist remains is how animator Fred Moore fell out of or off of the hotel in a drunken stupor. One version is that he was on the roof of the hotel and decided to try to relieve himself off of the side.
Oh, yes, of course.
Either he misjudged the distance to the ledge or forgot that he was on the third floor of a building, or I don't know what, but he stepped right off the side of the building and fell into a tree. Another version of that is that he was stumbling through the hallway and went right out the fire escape, over the railing and into a bush. A third is that he was hanging it out a hotel window and fell that way. Either way, something.
All of those are pretty great ways to pee.
The booze was flowing freely, and the front desk of the hotel had ever-increasing reports of drunkenness, nudity, and promiscuity, probably all from like hotel staff at that point. Because again, these were all people that worked at the company. You're not going to rat out. If you're still there having fun, you're too wasted or too into it to go and report that. I don't know. This guy was pressing ham, and I don't really, whatever.
Yeah, you're not gonna turn out Fred Moore.
No,
I mean,
come on, dude. Apparently, all these reports got back to Walt, and so full disclosure for a lot of this stuff. Not a lot of information about this party has really come out. There's not a lot to it, which is why I had to pad it out with like freeway information and shit. But like, there's still enough there to be really interesting. And I don't know, but there are some timeline issues that I don't know about. Like, did Walt hear when he came to dinner? Did the hotel like, yeah, look, you guys are getting weird. Check this out, or because he stayed overnight. I wonder, was the hotel calling his room? Where was his room when all this is going? I don't know. All those kind of things. I have no idea.
Are you paying for these folks? Cause
yeah.
Sorry, Walt.
Well, apparently all this got back to Walt, prudish little Walter who couldn't handle a dirty joke, and he was not pleased. This man was pissed. And the next morning he was the first to leave. They left, or him and Lillian left early.
Okay.
They never mentioned this party ever again. And it was considered common knowledge at the studio that if you wanted to keep your job, you would keep your mouth shut as to what you saw at this party or what you did or what was done to you. Like, you did not mention the rap party.
Oh, man. That's great.
And I think to some extent, maybe Walt was pretty mad because this event was probably his like ideal little Midwestern hokey present to people, a picnic or like a carnival, like a genuine and wholesome fun for everyone. And it got turned into a horn fest.
Right.
Yeah. The next morning, Sunday morning, many of the studio crew headed home, but several, and I don't know, again, how many, but enough to, be a group, stayed an extra day to continue the party. Some of them didn't leave until the break of dawn Monday morning.
Oh.
And headed right into work from the hotel.
Of course.
One account from an animator was that the hotel staff actually kicked these stragglers out so they can clean up the hotel. And he says, quote, "The place was a disaster." I mean, that's partying on a different level. That is a partying on. I mean, I've come to work.
This is like a rock band destroying a hotel.
Yes, exactly.
But
and I
this
think
is animators. These are nerds.
Well, I think to a certain extent, they were rock stars in their own. I mean, they had that hit film.
Yeah.
I mean, because look, you also had Ward Kimball's band playing for a good portion. Like, they were all, Renaissance men.
They're all
era.
hyped up on that jazz.
Yes, yeah, dude, all that reefer. That's the story. Anyway, some people came in just hung over Monday morning, straight from the thing, didn't mention it. You don't talk about it. Nobody knows about it, whatever. Occasionally, every once in a while, you can find one of those trophies, the Handsome Cups, like for auction. So they exist. They're around. There's, probably 10 or 15 of them or whatever. Kind of neat. That'd be sweet to own.
I kind of want one.
Oh, absolutely. So that's the story, but I did find at least one quote from people who maybe were counter to it. This is from Willie Pyle, an animator who said that he never saw any of this raucous behavior, and he was there the whole time. And he kind of wondered if
I never saw that.
Right.
Nobody was acting out of line.
Yeah. And he wondered if it was all, made up by people.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it was all invented. I do feel kind of like the sort of jokers and tricksters that worked at that studio back then would 100% embellish a few stories when they got back home. Like, oh, Willie, dude, did you ever see Ruth fall off the donkey? Wink, wink. And he's like, no, what do you mean? Ruth, come here, tell the story about how you fell off the donkey. And then it's just canon.
Oh, gosh.
So I had mentioned earlier that the idea for the show came from some weird ass conspiracy book. And here's the main passage that I took this from. Quote, under the full moon, the Disney male and female workers, finally free of the tight rules at the studios, had what amounted to a Roman orgy and a large nude skinny dip at the lake. Almost all of the Disney workers participated in the orgy, and Disney had only two options: fire them all or ignore that the party took place. Walt chose the later option, and after that, no one ever dared mention the party in his presence. And there are like deeper ties within that segment to like, the friend at Bank of America. That's why it was like a Jewish banker. Like, okay, does it really need to, do we need to? And like how Bank of America is involved with the Illuminati, and that's why Bank of America had the only branch within the theme park for 100 million years or whatever it was on Main Street, and it was only open on Sundays just for Walt because Walt was an Illuminati as well. It's just like this whole. Anyway, that's the party. That's the party. It was just a one and done like party, but I wondered what happened to the Norconian afterwards. Is it still around? Can I go there and re-experience the moments? Like most things in life I want, the answer is kind of. In September and October 1941, the United States Navy purchased the resort. And on December 8th, 1941, the day after Pearl Harbor, the resort was commissioned as the United States Naval Hospital in Corona. The hospital itself was located within the city of Corona at the time, but when the city of Norco was, it says established, but I don't think that's what they mean established. I think it's like, I forget the name. Certified. Incorporated. Thank you. Yeah. In 1964, the hospital was then officially located to Norco. Almost immediately, the Navy held up payment for the land. And Rex Clark, who bought the land and opened the Norconian and all that kind of stuff, he spent 4 long years in court fighting for the $2 million promised by the U.S. government. He eventually won the suit, but it's unclear exactly what the amount of judgment was or what he actually got paid eventually by the government. And I just love the fact, trust me, Mr. Clark, we're going to pay you. Okay, here are the keys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
My goodness.
The first patients arrived from the Pearl Harbor attack and were housed and treated in the rooms of the former resort. Not a bad place to recover, I'm going to say.
Okay.
The facility was quickly altered and expanded to include isolation wards. The hospital was the designated National Tuberculosis and Malaria Treatment Center for the Navy, as well as the Naval Pacific Coast Polio Facility. A 200,000 square foot ward addition, which was christened by Eleanor Roosevelt, was built. There was a chapel, a complete theater, and a gymnasium, and many firsts. Now, many firsts happened at this resort. Aside from all the swimming stuff and the golf stuff that we heard about previously, the first use of penicillin for tuberculosis patients happened here. The first air transportation of naval patients across the United States were treated in Norco. The first uses of polio vaccines outside of the city of Pittsburgh. The first handheld X-ray machines were here at the Norconian after the United States Navy bought it, as well as advances in prosthetics and occupational therapy.
Huh.
The hospital closed temporarily in 1949, but reopened in 1950 for the Korean War. I mean, that's what we're good at. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, we have a hospital that's housing the war injured? You know what we got to do, folks.
Yeah.
You know what we got to do. During this brief closure, the NBS Corona Laboratories, which is now known as Naval Surface Warfare Center Corona Division, was created. The hospital closed for good in 1957, but the Naval Laboratory remained. In 1962, 94 acres in the north were given to the state of California, and on that site was established the California Rehabilitation Center, which was the first state-funded addiction treatment program in the nation. Kind of a good thing, I would imagine.
Huh.
This voluntary program, those with substance use disorder had a choice of prison or this. Okay? The program moved...
Go to prison and go to
rehab.
Nice hospital.
Yeah. Well, and it moved into the old resort clubhouse.
Huh.
So the thing that was designed by the guy who designed the Carthay and like all... That sounds like a nice place to like get dry, you know?
That's the beginning. Wow.
Yeah. They moved into the old resort clubhouse, the northern wards, the north wing, chapel, gymnasium, and nurses' quarters. There were two factions internally that each wanted the land, one to use as a prison and the other as more rehab facility. Since we absolutely love imprisoning people, the prison won out. There was a prison built, and the prison quickly moved from low security to high medium security, with 5,000 inmates residing within its walls. In 1995, the Navy released a study that concluded that no aspect of the Norconian Resort era facilities qualified for National Register of Historic Places listing, which seems kind of wrong. So the city of Norco responded by commissioning an independent study of the property's historical significance. This study found that 19 structures, buildings, and features from the Norconian's resort era were, in fact, eligible for National Register listing. Oh, wow. Subsequently, in 2000, these structures, buildings, and features were placed on the National Register as the Norconian Resort Historic District. But in 2004, Erik, sadly, a state of California study concluded that the main hotel building was not in compliance with current earthquake construction standards and was subsequently abandoned. Today,
so it's a national monument, but then
it's protected. But no one's doing anything with it.
Oh no!
Today, the Norconian sits behind 20-foot high chain link and concertina wire fences, crumbling from neglect. Inside, chandeliers, hand-painted ceilings, Catalina tile floors and walls, and other features are often exposed through holes in the roof. In 2014, the Lake Norconian Club Foundation filed a lawsuit to force the state of California to obey California law, which requires that state agencies maintain and protect historic buildings on their properties. Now, from what I can gather, small groups, there is the Lake Norconian Club Foundation. It's a little group. They've been allowed in to try to save what they can of the building. It's kind of unclear, but no real work can begin until the state closes the California Rehabilitation Center, which they in fact plan on doing in the fall of 2026. So, so there's a big push to save the building and save what they can and even restore it, because a lot of historical stuff has happened there. I wonder how many kids were conceived at the Disney party, stuff like that. But you can go online and like look at this place. I mean, it's a beautiful place. Even the most recent picture I found was 2017. And even just in disarray, it's still gorgeous, still cool. So that's it.
I gotta look into that. Yeah,
that is the Snow White wrap party, folks.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
right.
That's a little roller coaster there.
Yeah,
wow.
It got it was just a wild time, and some people kind of like chalk it up to the employees sort of trying to get back at Walt, I guess, because he was paying for everything. And like hitting the bar, but the accounts that I've found from multiple sources, even like the documentation that the employees got, booze was not free. There was not an open bar. So I didn't want to say that, but like there's like some popular YouTube channels that I watched a little bit of to kind of get a gist of what they're saying, and people were like, "Oh yeah, it's an open bar." I'm like, that's not what I see, unless it was when they got there. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
So,
but
the
one of the accounts that I've been reading about it basically said, like, yeah, it was a big party, but then bonuses came around or didn't, because they were expecting the bonuses they got through their the shorts and everything, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, and and not the interesting thing, but like one of the things I enjoy about doing stuff like this, and then we'll go, folks. It's a long show. Sorry. Is learning the ancillary stuff. Like I learned that when Walt was building the studio, like the animation studio, he designed
the new one.
Yeah, he designed that studio.
Oh yeah.
And he was like so involved in it. I wouldn't say he obsessed over it, but he was like heavily involved in the design, specifically not just how it looked, but how it functioned. Like, because he wanted to optimize the workflow between animators in the ink and paint department and all the other departments that like kind of go together. So things weren't too scattered and you have to go across campus here or whatever. It's like, it was very, very, very thought out. And, it consumed a lot of his energy.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Have you been to the studio before?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just like, it's all very well laid out and everything, but from what I've heard, a lot of the animators didn't like the way it was laid out. A lot of them didn't appreciate, like they lost something in the interim.
So it's funny you say that because the other thing I picked up on this, and so I think the new studio was after Snow White because he used the Snow White money. So it was after this thing, right? So he ballooned the staff up to like over 1,000 people, and a lot of people were complaining that like that familial kind of camaraderie that would facilitate a party like that
it sounded like
gone.
Like you said, familial. It felt like this was their crew. This was
and you just couldn't. It's not that they didn't want to. That you just couldn't have that many people, and still have these tight bonds. The other thing with those bonuses is that Walt had the habit of, like you said, paying bonuses for what people did individually, but you couldn't. But he was spending so much time designing the studio that he was kind of getting more separated from what people were doing. And then once the studio was there and he had to hire so many people, he was just like the face. And so he didn't know what anybody was doing. And that like the fact that like some people would get bonuses just because they knew him longer. And so Walt would be like, oh, I know he's probably doing a good job. That led to a lot of infighting and a lot of confusion. And this whole thing that eventually culminated in that. It was part of that strike where it's like, this is just not fair. But Walt was so far removed, he didn't know what people are doing for the most part. He didn't know enough to base the bonus structure on.
How could you?
You can't, right? And that's the flaw. Yeah. That's the flaw of having a small business, if we can call an animation studio at Disney at that time small. And then the growing pains of a business, I guess, where you're the charismatic glue that holds everything together, but you got to do other stuff, and you sort of like forget, what you rely on.
Well, that's another episode.
That's another episode, baby. I also want to do. What am I doing? I also want to do an episode on the making of Snow White. Because that seems like a really interesting. That's a whole different ball of wax.
There's a lot.
You
Yeah.
know?
Oh my goodness. Like just
Yeah, you said it,
Just-
buddy.
changing everything.
Yeah. And I guess what kind of got me stuck on this episode, I love old LA history. So I'd like to do maybe a little bit more about like how LA sort of became the
That's
animation,
really interesting.
you know, portal to the world, right? So yeah, fun stuff.
I mean, I would love to learn more about how Hollywood reacted to it.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. That'd be cool. Good stuff coming. All right,
Okay.
everybody. You know, before we get out of here, I do want to mention that tomorrow, or by the time you hear this, episode 1 of the 3rd season of the Buena Vista Boys will be out. Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It is just in time for St. Patrick's Day. And remember, it's St. Patty's with 2 D's, not St. Patty's with 2 T's. All right, just to let everybody know. But yeah, so please check that out. And, you know, we're going to be recording the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea soon and all the other wonderful, wonderful movies on this wonderful 3rd season of the Buena Vista Boys. So I appreciate that. All right, let's get out of here. Erik, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on, and I'm glad you're eating well.
Oh yes.
You know, eating healthy,
Thank you.
man. I appreciate you.
Oh, yes.
If you guys want to support the show, support this network of all of our shows, we have 1 million shows now, please go to patreon.com/earsup. You can support us for as little as $2 a month. And that's, you know, great. It goes a long way to help keep the lights on. For everything else, we have a website, earsup-podcast.com. There you can find out about all our other shows and follow them as well. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And until then, until next time, until something or other, good sign off. We'll see you in the parks.